Hello and welcome to United Report. This is your home for all the latest Manchester United news, match updates, transfer stories, and in-depth analysis. Stay connected and never miss a moment. Subscribe now to stay ahead with everything happening at Old Trafford. Manchester United won't spend significant funds on a new goalkeeper this summer after Ruben and Amorim decided on other priorities. Andre Onana's future at Old Trafford has been under the microscope after failing to cut errors out of his game. Onana, 29, was dropped by Amorim last month after two howlers against Lyon in the Europa League quarter-finals. His understudy, Altay Bayindir, has featured more regularly as the season has worn on, but his performances haven't inspired confidence. It was reported at the turn of the year that Amorim wants to sign a new goalkeeper who can push Onana. With the Cameroonian continuing to make high-profile mistakes, an increasing number of fans want the club to go searching for a direct replacement. But a decision has been made. The Manchester Evening News report that United aren't prepared to spend a large amount of cash on a goalkeeper unless Onana leaves. The former Inter Milan shot-stopper wants to stay though, and his recent decision to change agencies wasn't made with a view to a transfer. Turkey international Bayindir, however, could be the one to leave Old Trafford in search of more regular starts, with the 2026 World Cup a year away. Third-choice goalkeeper Tom Heaton is in the final few weeks of his current contract and turned 39 last week. Senior United figures hope that Onana can rediscover his best form, which he's rarely showcased since his £47 million transfer from Inter in 2023. Those same figures and Amorim have prioritised bringing in a playmaker, a striker and a midfielder. United hope to make 3 or 4 key signings, and Champions League revenue would help them secure their top targets. In order to bank that, the Red Devils need to win the Europa League final next Wednesday. Amorim's side face Tottenham, with Onana expected to start. Amorim was recently asked whether he'd consider signing a new goalkeeper in the summer transfer window. "We are going to make that evaluation for any position in the squad," the United manager replied. "You can see my record too. My record is the worst in the team. I am also underperforming. We need to improve. We cannot change all the players. We need to improve every position on the field. Goalkeeper is the same. We can work with Andre. Andre Onana already proved he is a top player with Inter. Altay the same with Fenerbahce. We have some seasons where we are underperforming." Marcus Rashford is more inclined to remain at Aston Villa than seek a move abroad this summer. The 27-year-old, who joined Villa on loan from Manchester United in February, has enjoyed his return to regular first-team football after being sidelined by Ruben Amorim. Villa have the option to make Rashford's move permanent for £40 million, but their transfer plans may depend on which European competition they qualify for. While Rashford had previously considered a potential move to Barcelona, Express Sport reports that his successful stint under manager Unai Emery, during which he has scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists, has persuaded him to stay at Villa Park. Rashford will have input into his future, but the final decision on a permanent move to the West Midlands isn't entirely up to him. Villa might attempt to negotiate down their £40 million option, but Rashford's hefty £350,000 a week wage could be a major obstacle. This salary would make him Villa's highest paid player by a significant margin, and it could also deter Barcelona. It's been suggested that Rashford has enlisted agent Pini Zahavi to explore a move to the Catalan club, as there's no certainty that Villa can meet his financial demands, especially if they fail to secure Champions League qualification. Although Rashford's contract with United runs until 2028, a return to Old Trafford is seen as highly unlikely. Whether other interested parties will join the fray this summer remains to be seen, following earlier links to Borussia Dortmund, Serie A clubs and teams in the Saudi Pro League. Some Villa supporters are worried that they may have already witnessed Rashford's final appearance in claret and blue due to a hamstring injury he sustained last month. The forward, capable of playing centrally or on the left wing, undertook a warm-weather rehabilitation program in Dubai to expedite his recovery, and a return before the season concludes wasn't initially ruled out. That said, Friday's home match against Tottenham is the last game Rashford is eligible to play in, as Villa head to Old Trafford on the final day. Rashford returned to the England squad in March after a year-long absence, and getting fit for Thomas Tuchel's second round of games next month is a top priority. Manchester United stars are said to be unhappy at being offered just 2 tickets per player for the Europa League final, whilst the travel logistics mean they may not be able to celebrate with their family if they win. The Red Devils take on Tottenham at the San Mamés in Bilbao, but much of the build-up has been dominated by the news that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has continued to be frugal with the freebies. Complimentary tickets are very much at a premium, which has not gone down well with the playing group, reports the Daily Mail. The club are handing out just 2 complimentary tickets per player for friends and family, as well as seats on a chartered flight. That will land 60 miles away in Santander on the morning of the game, whilst the guests will also be given food and drink at the team hotel. Their return flight is also from Santander, more than an hour's drive from Bilbao, and leaves at 2:15 a.m. following the final, which means any celebrations are unlikely. The players can buy up to 10 more tickets from UEFA at face value, which range in price from £200 to £55. But if they took that option, they would have to stump up the costs for the additional flights and hotel rooms. The Manchester outfit could land themselves £100 million in revenue with victory in the Europa League by virtue of landing themselves a spot in the Champions League. Despite that, their Ineos chief has continued to watch the costs, a move that has not been well received. Ruben Amorim will pay for 30 members of his backroom staff to attend the Europa League final with their families, as he looks to remedy the unpopular decision taken by Ratcliffe. He will personally cover the cost for his coaches and physios to bring up to 2 members of family or friends. He said, "You know that we have a lot of things, people leaving, a lot of changing in the staff. In this moment for our club, sometimes it is hard to understand when to give and when to take. It is complicated for the club to start giving to other members of staff. It is a really hard position." Amorim continued, "My reaction was to help. Then we talked to the players, and the players had the same reaction. Everybody wants the staff there and their families there. The finalists have been given an allocation of around 15,000 each, and while Spurs are offering a free ticket to every full-time employee, United have only set aside a small number for a staff ballot. Instead, they've been invited to a screening in Manchester where they will be offered 2 free drinks." Ruben Amorim is facing an injury nightmare for Manchester United's biggest game of the season, with 4 defenders missing from training. United take on Tottenham in the Europa League final in Bilbao next Wednesday and could be short on players at the back. The club's season rests on the result in northern Spain, with victory providing salvation in the form of a place in next season's Champions League. United are 16th in the Premier League, a place above Spurs, following the 2-0 defeat by West Ham on Sunday, and are fully focused on the Europa League final. The West Ham game extended their winless run in the league to 7 games and brought another bitter pill to swallow in the form of another injury for Lenny Yoro. The French defender received treatment on the pitch at Old Trafford in the second half and had to be replaced by Harry Maguire. "We have to assess Lenny in a better way tomorrow," Amorim said after the match. "He felt something, but it could be a small thing." He was due to undergo a scan to determine the extent of the issue and was conspicuous by his absence at an opening training session at Carrington on Wednesday morning. Amorim could be sweating on other injuries too, with Diogo Dalot, Matthijs de Ligt and Aiden Heaven also not present in the session. Dalot suffered a calf injury in the 1-0 defeat by Wolves last month and appears very unlikely to make the Spurs game. He has something in his muscle, his calf. He had a sequence of games. He played all the time. We try to manage, but the players play a lot of minutes and not so ready to cope with that. Dalot felt something, Amorim said. "We don't know how long he's going to be out, but he's out for these next games." De Ligt picked up a knee injury in the 4-3 loss to Brentford, but Amorim had been optimistic about a swift return. "It is not a big issue," he said. "That is a good thing. He cannot play tomorrow versus Athletic Bilbao, and he'll not play on Sunday versus West Ham, but then we'll check day by day." Heaven has not been involved in any squads since being on the bench against Newcastle on April 13th due to a small setback. Injuries have been a major problem for Amorim during his debut campaign as United boss, with defence a particular issue. Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw and Noussair Mazraoui all featured against West Ham, but United are short on numbers in defence. Amorim chose to play a strong side against the Hammers on Sunday, with Bruno Fernandes partnering Manuel Ugarte in midfield. The Portuguese boss admitted that he still had one eye on the Europa League final and had to manage his squad ahead of Friday's trip to play Chelsea in the Premier League. "We want to win and to be competitive, also in the Premier League," Amorim said. "Bruno doesn't have the problem of any injury touches would, but Harry Maguire has. So we have to manage that, but they have to play, and it is better to play than to stay out."